a revealing new poll out of the state of California about exactly how they feel, not only about President Biden, but about California native Kamala Harris, current vice president. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. So this poll finds that Kamala Harris, if Biden doesn't run for president, she would trail in the polls in California behind both current Governor Gavin Newsom and Bernie Sanders for the 2024 nomination. And Bernie has ruled out running if Biden is running, but has left the door open if he's not running. Gavin Newsom is obviously chomping at the bit to run for president and positioning himself to do that. I think, also if Biden doesn't run, the numbers specifically are Newsom would get 25% in terms of first choice. Bernie Sanders would get 18%. Kamala would be 18% as well. And then Pete at 13%. They say that Harris trails fellow California Newsom 54 and Sanders 80, the two-time presidential candidate. Newsom and Sanders each ranked as the top choice of 13% of respondents. So I think what they're doing here is they combine a first and second choice, and that's where Bernie and Kamala are tied with first and second choice. But if you're just looking at first choice, Newsom and Sanders are actually tied at 13%. So that's why that's a little bit confusing. Also in this poll, though, Californians not feeling another Biden term. 6 in 10 respondents are against Biden trying for a second term in 2024. So pretty damning of both Biden and Harris here, ultimately.
Yeah, I just think it's absolutely hilarious because when you see how she is losing by 7 points in her own home state to the governor, as she is the actual chosen successor of the president of the United States, who is the leader of the Democratic Party, and she can't even come in first, let alone tied for third. It's humiliating.
Yeah.
I mean, this just takes us back to the primary. She couldn't even win her own home state. That's why she dropped out of the race and then plucked from obscurity. A failed politician. As failed as what? A Cory Booker or any of these other, Kirsten Gillibrands or whomever, and becomes vice president for no reason. And let's be honest, I think we all know why, because she's a woman and because she's a person of color.
I mean, Clyburn made a hard pitch for her.
That's literally it, right? It's just a box check. Well, I mean, this is what happens. She was never even all that popular in the state in the first place. So this is one of just the most obvious examples of someone foisted on us, regardless of their job performance, regardless of whether they're qualified for the job or not. And this is one of the main reasons I still have faith somewhat in democracy is people are like, yeah, no. They're like, that's not gonna work for me.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing here is too, these types of numbers are why I'm so convinced that Biden is just going to run again.
Yeah.
Whether he
has to. He's got no choice.
Because they're sort of, the establishment's backed into a corner of having to get behind Kamala Harris. And, you look at her losing to both Newsom and Bernie in her own home state, and you're like, this is a disaster. Certainly she would not clear the field whatsoever. I mean, if Biden doesn't run, you're going to have Newsom get in. You could have Bernie get in. I don't know. You're going to have J.B. Pritzker probably get in. You're going to have, what is the governor of North Carolina's making sounds like he wants to run. Roy Cooper, yes.
Yes, Roy.
Cooper. I know, I always want to say Roy Morris. Roy Cooper is the North Carolina governor. Pete Buttigieg obviously wants to run for president.
Cooper. All right, yeah.
So you've got this whole group that are chomping at the bit should Biden step aside. Now, I don't think that any of the people I just mentioned will actually challenge Biden directly in a primary, which is unfortunate because I think people deserve other choices. Not that I think that any of the ones I mentioned are particularly amazing, but they might be a little bit better than Joe Biden. But this is exactly why I think that the establishment is going to decide after exhausting all other possibilities to stick with Joe simply because Kamala is such a weak candidate ultimately, and it just throws the whole state. They don't want to have actual democracy. That to them is chaos. They want to be able to control the outcome. And with Joe, they feel like they can do that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, I just think it's insane. I do actually think Newsom might have an outsized decent shot just because aren't they going to rig the primary system so that California won't be as late this time around? It would be one of those things where he'd have a tremendous delegate
advantage. They did that
advantage.
last time.
Right. So it's interesting to consider, if they move it up on Super Tuesday, because people remember, Iowa's definitely not going to be first. We don't know which one will come, but New Hampshire, whoever is there, obviously will have the advantage. But if they move and make it Super Tuesday more of a defining one, it is definitely more of a gift to anybody who's more establishment with a lot of money. So
yeah,
fascinating.
Yeah,
No idea.
so she only gets 10% of Californians who say she's their first choice.
Complete joke.
Think of how that's so sad.
Cool.
All right, more for you guys later. Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.